I want to talk about ideals, the kinds of things that we set up as inherently valuable and go after. So, for example, we might have the ideal of beauty or an ideal of wealth. Now, a quote that inspired me is that you rob reality of its meaning, value, and truthfulness to the extent that you make up an ideal world. So, what does this mean? It means the simple idea that ideals, when they're made into ideals, aren't necessarily good. So, take for example the ideal of beauty, that we put on a pedestal certain aspects of beauty. Well, there's two problems with this. First is that beauty might be operating as a goal for something more fundamental. So, beauty might just be a proxy for physical and physiological health. And then, if it's beauty that we care about, not health, beauty, an obsessiveness about beauty might cause us to do things that aren't healthy. An example is that emphasis on female beauty might cause women to do things like have eating disorders, or to psychologically judge themselves to the extent that the emphasis and ideal of beauty is not healthy. Or take, for example, wealth. The ideal of wealth is there because we presume that the things that you can get with wealth are helpful for you, are useful. But if you pursue wealth to an extent that it's not healthy, it's bad for you, it's bad for your psychological health, and the things that you're buying with it aren't good, then beauty and the ideal of beauty and wealth and the ideal of being wealthy have corrupted, in a sense, what's really fundamentally valuable. But there's also a second sense in which ideals can be bad, and it's that ideals undermine your ability to appreciate things for what they are. So let's say that you like beautiful things for just the fact that they're beautiful things, not just because they're healthy. Beauty, creating an ideal of beauty, also locks you in a certain way. It suggests that you can't appreciate other things about the world. So when you create a couple ideals and say that that's all you want, that undermines your ability to appreciate other good things about the world. So, for example, if you only like models and you only appreciate beauty, it becomes harder to appreciate other things. And if you only seek wealth, and that's all you seek, you might be taking away from your ability to appreciate other goods in this world. The basic point is pretty simple, that by setting up ideals, you can do two things. First, the ideal might not be the really valuable thing, and so you might be missing the boat, so to say. And second, even if that limited ideal is an importantly valuable thing, you can miss out on so much else. And so that's why you rob reality of its meaning, value, and truthfulness to the extent that you make up an ideal world. The ideal world doesn't cover everything in this world. It misses a lot of the value, and it misses a lot of the meaning, because it might be a symbolic value, and even if it's not, it ultimately comes down to a failure to capture everything that's valuable that we have in this world.